What's up, everybody, and welcome to What's in Your Glass. I'm your host, Carmelo Anthony. Before we get going, let's first welcome today's guest. Uh, you know him as a Grammy Award-winning singer, songwriter, record producer whose latest album, Gold Digger Sound, was nominated for the Best R&B Album at the 2022 Grammy Awards. Please welcome to the show, Leon Bridges. My brother,
How you
welcome to the
doing?
show, man. Welcome to the show. We usually cheers in person, but we're gonna do a virtual cheers. So big shout out to you. Thank you for coming on
Oh,
and what's in your glass.
thanks for
Having
having
an
me.
opportunity to chop it up with you and just talk about what you got going on and what's next. What you got in your glass first? I want to know that.
So I'm rocking some Kaz Azul, and it's the one that looks like a vase. Like the bottle looks
Okay.
like a blue and white um bottle. But I'm rocking some Kaz Azul, a little mezcal.
Oh, indeed, indeed. I just got a little light Pinot on the water today, midday, something light.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Absolutely for our conversation, it's gonna be light. Um, but yeah, let's jump into it, man. Like I said, I don't want to hold you up no more longer than you've been on here waiting for me. But
Mhm.
before we really dive in, I want to know how have things been with you. I know you're preparing to go on tour, which we'll talk about later. But what else is going on with you?
Yeah, everything's kind of been a whirlwind recently. I just kind of recently started working on a film. I got to have an opportunity to be able to do some acting. Um, and then also just gearing up to embark on a little tour. But other than that, like, blessed, man.
What I usually like to start at the beginning and give people a little background on the guest. So taking it all the way back, you grew up in Texas, splitting time between Dallas and Fort Worth. Did you find yourself drawn to music at a young age, or that came later?
Yeah, man. So I always gravitated towards, I guess, the R&B music of the '90s and 2000s, and at the same time, I was, my parents introduced me to, I guess, kind of the other spectrum of R&B of like the Sade's and Curtis Mayfield. And so, I always loved R&B music, and I knew that I would ultimately like make it at some point, but I would say my music is just kind of a reflection of just like the music my parents put me onto, and like the R&B music of the '90s and 2000s.
Yeah, and I mean the R&B music in the '90s was it was fun. It was it was bouncy. It was a party. At the end of the day, and well into the 2000s as well, which 2000 just took it to a whole nother level. But you described yourself as painfully shy, like growing up, uh, like being a shy kid. Like was there a part of you that always wanted to perform, or did that come later? Because how does that work? If you shy, it's like you don't want to be around a lot of people or in front of a lot of people, but then you going out there, you performing. So it's like explain that. Was that early or did that come later?
Right. I mean, yeah, I've always been, really bashful, kind of growing up, but at the same time, going back to R&B music, it was dope when like a lot of the prominent um, artists during that time were dancers, the Genuine and Usher. And so, I tried to emulate their dance moves. I was pop locking and doing all that kind of stuff. And so there was a moment in high school where there was a talent show, and I would say the first time I guess I ever got on the stage was that moment. And I mean, so, I did, it was just terrifying just to get it, as far as getting up in front of people. But I kind of, ultimately was just able to just kind of get past that, and perform in front of my peers, which was a crazy moment.
Right. So that's. I mean, I'm glad you brought that up. It was like, what was that feeling? Like you said, it was terrifying getting up there in front of your peers. Was it nervousness? Was it I'm embarrassed? Was niggas gonna laugh at me? Or like what was the feeling of that? Because a lot of people go through that. You know what I'm saying? Even now, a lot of kids may be going through that as well. So that's some good insight on how somebody like you like yourself was able to deal with that.
Yeah, I guess it's just the nerves of, I guess, presenting, your art in front of your peers, and just like no one in high school knew that I could dance, and so it would, and at the whole time I'd been kind of sharpening just like my skill in that way, and it was like, it was just like one of those kids that never said anything, and like all of a sudden he's on stage, um, dancing, but yeah, it was just, I think that was kind of what was, that I guess made me nervous about it.
So did you kill it? Did you kill it or what?
I did. This is why I'm hot by, is it Mims?
This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot.
Yeah.
This is why I'm hot. All right. So you had to, because that was a song. That was a song at that time too. So you had to. You had something to rock out to. You yourself. I would like to say a master of soul and R&B. Like, but what music did you listen to growing up? Was soul and R&B something you was always drawn to, or was it another genre that you was drawn to?
Absolutely. You know, I love art, artists like Genuine and Usher, but I also, you know, my, growing up, my mother, she would always play Sade and Anita Baker, and my father put me on to Curtis Mayfield and Stevie Wonder, and so I think it goes to show of just like how soul music is just like timeless, to even when I was a kid, you know, I was digging that, type of music. But I never knew that I would ultimately make soul music. It was just, I always loved it for sure.
You were discovered while working as a dishwasher, right? And performing locally around Texas. But before that, let's talk about before that. What was it like playing to very small crowds? Like did that influence the intimacy of your music?
Mm. It was one of those things of like I was dancing in college. There was like this dance program, and I had some homies that inspired me to kind of do ballet and all that kind of stuff, and then I left college, and at that time I had just like picked up a guitar and was trying to write some songs, and I was just looking for another platform. So that's kind of what led me to the open mics, and it was I just wanted to share my art on some type of platform, and so it was I was somewhat of a anomaly in the city because there weren't a lot of heads just like a acoustic R&B thing, and because in Fort Worth it's like predominantly country music, and so um yeah, so open mics was kind of you know what I was started to initially do when I was playing guitar.
Right, right. And so in 2 years, like we talking about in the 2 year span, you went from you went from working in the service industry to performing at the White House for Barack Obama. Uh, like, how do you adjust from playing in like small bars and playing in venues like the actual White House? Now that was that that was nerve wracking. I assume that was nerve wracking. Okay.
Absolutely,
Uh,
absolutely. It's I'm still processing it. Um, it's really wild to be just anonymous, and to go from that to being able to do music on a big platform. And man, I can just say all I can say is it's by the grace of God that I had an opportunity to perform at the White House and go to Obama's last birthday party at the White House. And it's like I never would have saw, never saw that it coming, you know, and so just grateful for the milestones that, you know, I've been able to achieve in life.
And the actual timing of all of that too, like the time where we was at as a country, as a community, as society, you know, that was a moment for you to be able to go in there. And, you know, I'm sure as a fan and as your fans, you know, watch that, I'm sure they, you know, they was proud of you. We was proud of you to see that moment happen for you
Mm,
and for you know, Barack Obama. So
indeed.
we switch it up a little bit. Let's go to your most recent album release last year,
Hmm.
and it was nominated Best R&B Album at the upcoming Grammys this April. So first of all, what's the story behind the name of the album, and how do you come up with that?
Right. So the album is Gold Digger Sound, and it's pretty much Gold Diggers is the studio in East Hollywood, and um, very unassuming from, you know, from the outside of it. You know, it's kind of like this place of refuge in like this kind of gritty area, and I just felt it was like the perfect place to make an album. So I was able to kind of bring in some of my, you know, favorite musicians to kind of cultivate an R&B sound that was just like unique to me. And, you know, it was the whole process of it just kind of inspired the name. Like, this is where the was made, Gold Diggers.
So that was that planned, or was that just like, oh shit, like this fits the vibe, this fits where we at, this is that sound, this is Gold Digger Studio sound. You know what? Fuck it, we gonna make this the album right here. So it was based off a vibe that you had while in there.
Absolutely, yeah. Going into it, I didn't even know what I, you know, wanted to name the album. You know, it was just, you know, I wanted, you know, if you're going to spend a lot of time in a place, like, I think it's like dope to find a place that is aesthetically dope. And that's just what Gold Diggers was. You know, it just felt, you know, just good to be in, and good to, like, you know, a rad place to create music in. And I was like, yeah, this is where, like, all the songs were born. So Gold Diggers. That's
You found your sanctuary. I'll tell you that.
uh-huh.
That was that safe haven over
Hmm.
there. You how would you describe the sound on the album? Sonically, how would you describe it?
Man, like, I would say, you know, the foundation of it is soul. You know, but there's you know, a bunch of other aspects of it. You know, I guess going into it, you know, I kind of conveyed to my good dude Ricky Reed, who produced this album. I was like, you know, I want to make a more R&B centric album, you know, with some organic elements, and just kind of my take on R&B. And we kind of went into it with that, and at some point we was like, oh, let's, you know, kind of add some jazz elements in there. So it's like kind of an amalgamation of things, but I think at the end of the day, it's just, you know, good music, good songs, you know.
So how did it all come together? How did the album come together? And what surprised you in making it? Because I know a lot of times going through any process or journey that you trying to achieve a goal or you're creating, uh, it's something that may surprise you with you know along that journey. Was it something that surprised you in making this Gold Digger sound?
Mm. And so I, you know, the I guess the way that, you know, we record is like, sometimes you're having to choose like a beat, you know, to write to, and that's dope. I love that kind of way of making music. But I wanted to see, like, how do you make that, you know, that sound that's just like, it wasn't potentially for this artist, or wasn't, you know, it was, you know, something that kind of made organically, and in that way. And so I guess the process of it was just getting a bunch of dope musicians in a room, and we would essentially just like jam till we found a vibe. And um, and then I guess my process of writing songs is, I start with a melody and then kind of shape just the subject matter after that. But yeah, the Gold Diggers is, pretty much just me getting in the suit in a room with some of my favorite musicians.
Yeah, you don't have to be too modest about it. We know that the album is crazy. we know what time it is with the album. So switch it gears a bit. You've been recently announced as a face of Wrangler. Congratulations, the spring summer 22 men's collection. As well as the Wrangler, the new Wrangler NFT launch. I think it's the 75th anniversary. I was reading when you were discovered, you were wearing a pair of Wrangler jeans. Was this like full circle for you?
Yeah, definitely like a full circle moment. Like Wrangler is the reason I'm here in a way. It was like, there was one night I was wearing some Wranglers, and that caught the attention of this guy named Austin Jenkins, who pretty much he changed my trajectory. Like he was the one that kind of facilitated me going into a studio and making my first album, Coming Home. And so it was kind of rad to like get my foot in the fashion world of, doing a collab with the pinnacle of a brand that's the pinnacle of denim.
What can you tell us about the actual collection itself?
Yeah, so I really dig like that 70s silhouette, and I really dig, I'm from Texas, so I really dig like the fashion of Texas. So it's just like kind of that mixture of like 70s workwear and just like 70s workwear and kind of like a denim thing.
And it's that 70s is that hard denim? That's that hard denim.
Man, it's more so just like just like the specific cuts. Like I love like everything flared, and
Gotcha. Okay.
I kind of bring it back to just that the essence of the 70s in a way. I don't know.
You gonna get it. No, I'm sure you I'm sure you got it. I'm sure you got it right. So we ain't worried about that. As part of the collaboration, Wrangler's also auctioning off I think 75 digital NFTs, dubbed the Mr. Wrangler icon. Like what can you share about the NFT portion of your collaboration?
Right. Man, it's it's a whole world that like people try to explain it to me, and I'm like, how come I still don't get it? But the thing, so basically, there was this photo that I saw on Instagram, and it was this guy. He was wearing just like Wrangler fit, and I really love like the embroidery and just like everything on it. And so I worked with my homegirl Gabby, and she reached out to Wrangler, and I think it took almost like 2 years for them to make this custom piece. And like they pretty much took that piece, and it's like in the in the what is it, metaverse? Is that
the metaverse? Yeah, the metaverse.
Somebody help me. Yeah, the metaverse.
we still figuring out the metaverse.
Right? I'm like, somebody help.
what yeah, it's the metaverse is hard to figure out. It's just getting started. It's just getting started. So you have time to figure it out. But congratulations to Wrangler on auctioning off the 75 digital NFTs of Mr. Wrangler icon. you're let's talk about as before we get start the closing on like what you focused on, like your upcoming tour, the Boundless tour kick off in Vegas in late, I think, July. Like
Mm-hmm.
what do you have planned for the tour? You always got something planned for you. Like what do you have planned for this tour?
Man, I'm really excited. I got to the point where I have the option of a catwalk. You know, I'm like, damn, I get a catwalk. That's what's up. No, but it's gonna be rad. You know, it's kind of focused on like where I was and kind of where I'm heading. And I love that I'll be able to incorporate songs that I never played from my first album, Coming Home, and a handful of songs from Good Thing and some Gold Diggers and some Karungbin. So it'll be just I guess I'll just have an opportunity to play everything.
And so and like I know I mean, how excited like you have to be back performing live, right? It's it's in the world where hopefully things feel slightly back to normal, or when we think things is getting back to normal, it's not. It may be the new normal, but still, like how excited are you to being back out there performing live in this world?
Man, I'm really excited, man. Like, it's been 2 years since, I've like toured. So, I'm sorry. Sorry.
You're all right.
No, it's awesome to be to connect with, the fans in that way. And it's like kind of part of my job. So it's like, it's just awesome to get back to work, in that way. But yeah, I'm super excited to get back on the road, and grateful that heads want to come and see the show.
What other projects you have going on that we should keep an eye on? Anything else big that you're actually focusing on?
Yeah, so I just released an EP called Texas Moon, and it's a collaborative project with this band from Houston, Texas called Karungbin. And I think people might find something, in the EP that they dig. So, but other than that, I'm about to start working on my fourth album, in which I'm really excited to, kind of get some of these songs out.
I mean, we all excited about the album. We all excited about your work. I'm glad you mentioned, the EP, so people could kind of go and get that, kind of that teaser, and kind of just find a vibe that they might be able to relate to on the EP before the actual album is being done and being dropped. Let's bring it all back to why we actually here, of what's in your glass. I just have a few. I always do this with the guests. I have a few quick fire questions for you to close out. But we gotta know what's in your glass on certain occasions. So if you're on vacation, what's in your glass?
On vacation, it depends on where you go. Like when I'm in Mexico, I like tequila. And it's but I'm all tequila these days. I don't do nothing but tequila. But it depends on where you go.
You're not a bourbon guy.
Man, I used to be.
Okay.
I was a bourbon guy until I just noticed that I'm like, after I drink bourbon, I have the worst hangover, and then like I'm looking like Fat Albert, just like
that's sugar. That's sugar. So if you out at dinner at a nice restaurant, what's in your glass?
Ooh, I wish I probably have to go with a. I'm sorry, like my knowledge of wine. I just have to go with a red. Can I just say red?
No, for sure. No. It ain't no judgment.
Wine.
This is a free judgment zone over here.
All right.
Free judgment zone. If you one more. If you're about to celebrate a big win, right? Like another Grammy for Gold Digger Sound. What you got in your glass?
Man, yeah, that I mean, yeah, champagne for the, the celebratory little moments. So you got to go with, champagne for sure.
And then you ending it with the tequila.
Yeah, yeah. You start with champagne. This is a glass of champagne, and then you get on tequila after that.
And once you order tequila, it's over after that.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. But you gotta stay on tequila. You can't deviate from that. Like you gotta just stay on the tequila for the rest of the night.
Yeah. So whatever you drink first, once you go to tequila, stay on tequila, because after that, them nights get long. Then them next days get heavy. So stick to the tequila. Yeah. Yo, my brother, man, thank you so much for joining me this week, man. And for a glass of, I know you had the tequila, I had the wine over here. Great conversation, great catching up with you, man. Always been a big fan and support, kind of what you're doing, your endeavors, how you moving, and kind of just how you being a role model, you being a leader, man, in our community. So I appreciate that. I'll give you your flowers while you're here. Congratulations on Gold Digger Sound.
Thank you.
And just thank you everybody for tuning in. Leon, my brother, is always gonna be loved.
Hey.
Good luck on the tour. Hopefully I can catch you on one of them tour dates. We'll see what's going on. I know you're gonna smash. I know you're gonna kill it. But always, my brother, keep doing what you're doing. Love.
I love, brother, man. I'm humbled, man. Good to talk to you.
Peace.